What if I told you there's a country where your dollar stretches so far that you could live better than most middle-class Americans on just $500 a month? What if I told you this place has pristine beaches, vibrant culture, English-speaking locals, and food so good it starts international arguments? And what if I told you this paradise is sitting right in West Africa, practically begging for visitors, while everyone else is still sleeping on it? That place is Ghana, and by the end of this story, you'll either be booking a flight or kicking yourself for not knowing about it sooner. Ghana isn't just another African country trying to get your tourist dollars. This place is something different, something that makes expats from all over the world pack up their lives and never look back. We're talking about a nation that calls itself the gateway to Africa and actually lives up to the hype. While your friends back home are struggling to afford rent in overpriced cities, you could be sipping palm wine on a beach in Accra, eating meals that cost less than a Starbucks coffee, and living in a place where your biggest daily decision is whether to hit the beach or check out another festival. But here is the thing that'll really blow your mind. Ghana doesn't just offer you a cheaper life. It offers you a better life. The cost of living here makes your money work so hard that you'll think you've discovered some kind of financial cheat code. A decent apartment in Accra costs about the same as a parking spot in San Francisco. A full meal at a local restaurant costs less than a single appetizer in New York. And the kicker? The people are so genuinely friendly that culture shock works in reverse. You wonder why everyone back home seems so stressed and unfriendly. This isn't some rough-around-the-edges adventure travel destination where you need to rough it to save money. Ghana has infrastructure, reliable internet, modern amenities, and a growing expat community that has figured out how to live like kings on budgets that wouldn't cover basic expenses in most Western cities. The country's stable democracy, English as the official language, and strategic location on the coast make it the perfect launching pad for anyone looking to experience Africa without the usual barriers that scare people away. So buckle up, because we're about to take you on a tour of a country that is about to change everything you thought you knew about living abroad, from the bustling streets of Accra to the pristine beaches of the Atlantic coast. From ancient castles with heavy history to modern cities buzzing with opportunity, Ghana is serving up a lifestyle that costs pennies and delivers experiences worth millions. The only question is, are you ready to find out why this might be the best-kept secret on the entire continent? Ghana sits on the Atlantic coast of West Africa, perfectly positioned as your gateway to both continental Africa and endless ocean adventures. This isn't some landlocked country where your weekend escapes are limited to dusty markets. Ghana gives you 350 miles of gorgeous coastline, from fishing villages where life hasn't changed in decades to modern beach resorts, where you can sip cocktails while watching the sunset paint the Atlantic in colors. That'll make your Instagram followers weep with envy. The country is positioned just north of the equator, means you get that perfect tropical climate year-round. None of this nonsense about needing winter coats or dealing with seasonal depression. Ghana has two main seasons, dry and wet. During the dry season from November to March, you get consistent temperatures in the 80s with low humidity and almost zero rainfall. Perfect beach weather, perfect festival weather, perfect I'm living my best life weather. The wet season from April to October brings more humidity and afternoon thunderstorms, but temperatures stay comfortable and everything turns lush and green. Plus, rain in Ghana isn't the dreary, depressing drizzle you get in Seattle. It has dramatic tropical downpours that cool everything off and then disappear, leaving the air clean and fresh. This is the land that gave the world cocoa, gold, and some of the richest cultural traditions on the African continent. Ghana isn't some artificial country drawn up by colonial powers with random borders. That make no sense. This place has been a crossroads of trade, culture, and civilization for over 1,000 years. The Ghana Empire was controlling trade routes across West Africa when Europe was still stumbling around in the Dark Ages. The Ashanti Kingdom built an empire here that rivaled anything happening in Europe at the time, complete with sophisticated political systems, incredible art, and military strategies that kept colonial powers at bay for centuries. But here's where Ghana's story gets really interesting and really heavy. This coastline was the epicenter of the Atlantic slave trade. Those beautiful beaches and charming coastal towns? They were the last thing millions of enslaved Africans saw before being shipped across the Atlantic. Cape Coast Castle and Elmina Castle stand today as UNESCO World Heritage Sites, preserved not as tourist attractions, but as sobering reminders of one of humanity's darkest chapters. Walking through the dungeons, where people were held before being loaded onto ships, is an experience that changes you. It puts everything into perspective and helps you understand why Ghana takes its role as a beacon of African independence and dignity so seriously. Modern Ghana emerged from this painful history to become something remarkable. The first African country to gain independence from colonial rule in 1957. Under Kwame Nkrumah's leadership, Ghana became a symbol of African liberation and Pan-African unity. Today, it's a stable democracy with peaceful transitions of power, growing economy, and a population that's increasingly young, educated, and entrepreneurial. This isn't a country stuck in the past or struggling with constant political upheaval. Ghana is moving forward, and it's taking everyone along for the ride. The capital, Accra, is a bustling metropolis of over 2 million people that manages to feel both distinctly African and surprisingly international. You'll find everything from traditional markets where grandmothers sell tomatoes and yams the same way their grandmothers did, to modern shopping malls with international brands and food courts. Kumasi, the cultural capital, sits in the heart of Ashanti country and offers a more traditional Ghanaian experience, while still providing modern amenities. Cape Coast combines historical significance with coastal beauty, giving you both educational and recreational opportunities within walking distance of each other. What makes Ghana special isn't just its geography or history, it is how all these elements combine to create a country that feels both exotic and familiar, challenging and comfortable, traditional and modern. You get the adventure of living in Africa with the practical benefits of English signage, reliable cell phone service, and a legal system based on British common law that actually makes sense to Western expats. Ghana offers you the chance to experience authentic African culture without the steep learning curve that can make other destinations feel overwhelming. The landscape varies dramatically as you move inland from the coast. You get tropical rainforests with canopy walks that make you feel like you're in Avatar open savannas where you can spot elephants and antelope, massive lakes perfect for weekend getaways, and mountains that offer hiking and cooler temperatures. When you need a break from the coastal heat, Lake Volta, created by the massive Akasambo Dam, is one of the largest artificial lakes in the world and offers fishing, boating, and lakeside retreats that feel like something out of a luxury travel magazine. But what really sets Ghana apart is its people. Ghanaians have turned hospitality into an art form. The concept of Akwaba, meaning welcome, isn't just a word here, it's a way of life. You'll find yourself invited to family gatherings by people you met 5 minutes ago, offered meals by strangers who want to make sure you're eating properly, and included in conversations, and activities with a warmth that will make you question why everyone back home seems so isolated and suspicious of outsiders. This is the foundation that makes everything else about living in Ghana possible. You are not just moving to a cheap country with nice weather, you are entering a society that values community, family, respect, and joy in ways that will remind you what you've been missing in the rush of Western life. Ghana gives you the space and support to slow down, connect with people, and remember what it feels like to live in a place where your neighbors actually know your name and care about your well-being. If you thought Ghana was all villages and traditional life, Accra is going to shatter every preconception you had about African cities. This place pulses with energy 24 hours a day, offering a lifestyle that blends traditional Ghanaian values with modern urban conveniences in ways that'll make you wonder why you ever thought city living had to be stressful and expensive. Ghanaian culture is built around the idea that life is meant to be lived in community, while Americans and Europeans increasingly live in isolation, barely knowing their neighbors and eating dinner alone while staring at screens. Ghanaians have maintained something that's getting rarer in the developed world: actual human connection. Extended families live near each other, neighbors look out for each other's children, and social gatherings happen spontaneously because people genuinely enjoy each other's company. The day starts early in Ghana, usually with the sound of roosters, morning prayers, and the rhythmic pounding of fufu preparation echoing through neighborhoods. But don't worry, this isn't some primitive wake-up call system. Ghanaians are early risers by choice, not necessity. They've figured out that getting up early means you can accomplish everything important before the day gets too hot, leaving afternoons free for socializing, resting, or pursuing personal interests. Work culture here operates on what they call Ghan time, which means meetings and social events start when people arrive, not when clocks dictate. This drives some expats crazy initially, but once you adjust to it, you'll realize how much stress disappears when you stop being enslaved by rigid schedules. Important things still get done, business still operates successfully, and life moves forward just without the constant anxiety about being 5 minutes late to everything. Language-wise, you've hit the jackpot. English is the official language, taught in schools and used in business, government, and media. But the real magic happens with the local languages, especially Twi, which is spoken by about half the population. Learning even basic Twi phrases will transform your experience. When you greet someone in Twi, their entire face lights up, and suddenly you're not a tourist or outsider, you're someone making an effort to connect. Wo hoti san, how are you? Will open more doors than any amount of money or status symbols. The social structure revolves around respect for elders, family obligations, and community responsibility. This might sound restrictive to individualistic Western minds, but it actually creates a safety net that Western societies have largely abandoned. If you're sick, struggling, or need help, the community steps in. Children are raised by entire extended families, not just stressed out nuclear family units. Elderly people are respected and cared for rather than warehoused in nursing homes and forgotten. Music and dance aren't entertainment add-ons in Ghana. They're integral parts of daily life. You'll hear highlife, Afrobeat, gospel, and traditional drumming flowing from homes, shops, taxis, and street corners. Ghanaians dance at funerals, weddings, church services, political rallies, and Tuesday afternoon grocery runs. Music is how emotions get processed, communities bond, and life gets celebrated. Don't be surprised if you find yourself moving to rhythms you've never heard before, but somehow understand in your bones. Markets are the beating heart of Ghanaian social life. These aren't sterile supermarkets where you grab items off shelves and avoid eye contact with cashiers. Ghanaian markets are social events. Where buying tomatoes becomes a 15-minute conversation about your family, your plans for the weekend, and whether you're eating properly. The Kajishia market in Kumasi is supposedly the largest market in West Africa, and walking through it is like entering a city within a city, complete with its own social hierarchy, unwritten rules, and community dynamics. Religion plays a huge role in daily life, but not in an oppressive or judgmental way. Ghana is roughly 70% Christian, 20% Muslim, and 10% traditional beliefs. But these faiths coexist peacefully and often blend in beautiful ways. Sunday church services are community celebrations featuring hours of singing, dancing, and fellowship. Friday mosque prayers bring neighborhoods together for reflection and community building. Traditional festivals honor ancestral spirits and natural forces with elaborate ceremonies that connect people to their history and environment. The concept of time and productivity operates differently here. Western cultures worship busyness and equate constant activity with success and virtue. Ghanaians understand that life includes work, rest, celebration, and reflection in healthy proportions. Taking time to sit with friends, enjoy conversations, or simply observe daily life isn't considered laziness, it's considered wisdom. You'll find yourself slowing down naturally, not because you're becoming lazy, but because you're already remembering what it feels like to live at a human pace rather than a machine pace. Family relationships extend far beyond immediate relatives. Your friend's mother becomes your mother, their siblings become your siblings, and their problems become your problems. This level of interconnectedness can feel overwhelming to people used to Western individualism, but it also means you're never truly alone or without support. The flip side is that success and resources are expected to be shared, which creates both obligations and security that don't exist in more individualistic societies. Children grow up with incredible freedom and responsibility simultaneously. They play in streets and neighborhoods without constant adult supervision, but they're also expected to contribute to household and family responsibilities from an early age. This creates kids who are confident, resourceful, and socially skilled in ways that surprise visitors from cultures where children are either overprotected or undersupervised. The beauty of Ghanaian culture is how it makes space for both tradition and modernity without forcing people to choose between them. You'll see traditional chiefs conducting ceremonies while wearing modern business suits, young people blending ancient drumming with contemporary music production, and families maintaining ancestral practices while embracing new technologies and opportunities. Ghana has figured out how to honor its past while building its future, creating a cultural environment that feels both rooted and dynamic. Get ready to have your taste buds revolutionized and your understanding of affordable eating completely recalibrated. Ghana doesn't just offer cheap food, it offers incredible food at prices that will make you question why you ever spent $15 on a mediocre sandwich back home. We're talking about meals that cost less than $2 and leave you so satisfied and happy that you'll start planning your next meal before you finish your current one. Let's start with the dish that launched 1,000 social media arguments, jollof rice. If you've never experienced the great West African jollof rice debates, you're in for a treat. Nigerians, Ghanaians, and Senegalese all claim to make the best jollof rice, and the arguments get passionate enough to end friendships and start Twitter wars. But here's the thing about Ghanaian jollof. It's smoky, perfectly spiced, and often cooked with meat or fish that falls off the bone. The rice absorbs flavors so complex you'll wonder how something so simple can taste so sophisticated. A plate of jollof rice with grilled chicken costs about $1.50 from street vendors, and about $3 at nice restaurants. Fufu is the dish that separates tourists from residents. This starchy staple is made from cassava, plantain, or yam that's boiled and then pounded into a smooth, stretchy consistency. Eating fufu is an art form. You pinch off a piece with your fingers, make an indentation to scoop up soup or stew, and swallow without chewing. The texture takes getting used to, but once you master it, fufu becomes comfort food that satisfies in ways that bread or rice never could. Light soup, groundnut soup, or palm nut soup served with fufu creates a meal that costs under $2 and provides protein, vegetables, and carbohydrates in perfect harmony. Banku is another fermented corn and cassava dough that's cooked into a slightly sour, incredibly filling staple, served with grilled tilapia, pepper sauce, and tomatoes. Banku creates one of Ghana's most beloved meal combinations. The fish is usually fresh from Lake Volta or the Atlantic coast, grilled over charcoal, and seasoned with local spices that make your mouth water from across the street. This entire meal costs about $3 and provides enough food for 2 people who aren't particularly hungry. Kelewele might be the perfect street snack ever invented. Ripe plantains are cubed, seasoned with ginger, garlic, pepper, and spices, then deep fried until they're crispy outside and sweet inside. You can buy a generous portion for about 50 cents from vendors who set up on street corners every evening. Kelewele hits that perfect sweet spicy balance that makes it impossible to eat just a small portion. It is like someone took everything good about dessert and appetizer and combined them into addictive little cubes of joy. Waki represents Ghana's ability to take simple ingredients and create something extraordinary. Rice and beans cooked with millet stalks that give the dish its distinctive color and flavor. Served with a variety of sides, fried plantain, boiled eggs, spaghetti, salad, and spicy pepper sauce. Waki vendors set up elaborate stations with dozens of toppings and sides, creating customizable meals that cost between $1 and $3 depending on how many extras you add. The beauty of Waki is that it's simultaneously filling, nutritious, and delicious while being affordable enough to eat every day. Red gets its name from the palm oil and tomatoes that create its distinctive color. Black-eyed peas cooked in a rich, spicy sauce and served with fried plantain create a meal that's both comfort food and nutritional powerhouse. Vendors sell red from massive pots that simmer all day, developing flavors that get more complex as hours pass. A generous portion costs about $1.50 and provides plant-based protein, healthy fats, and enough spice to clear your sinuses. Ghanaian soups deserve their own category of appreciation. Light soup, palm nut soup, groundnut soup, and okra soup aren't just broths. They're complete ecosystems of flavor featuring meat, fish, vegetables, and spices that create complexity rivaling anything served in high-end restaurants. These soups are often cooked for hours, allowing ingredients to meld into something greater than the sum of their parts. A bowl of soup with meat and vegetables costs about $2 from local spots and provides a complete, satisfying meal. Street food culture in Ghana operates at a level that puts food trucks in major Western cities to shame. Every neighborhood has vendors specializing in specific dishes. The Kelwell lady, who sets up at the same corner every evening. The Waki man whose line forms before he even arrives. The plant and chip woman whose product disappears within hours. These aren't random people selling questionable food. They raise skilled specialists who've perfected their recipes through years of customer feedback and competition. Tzofi, popular in northern Ghana, showcases the country's regional diversity. This dish features corn flour dough served with spicy soup containing meat and vegetables. The northern regions offer different flavor profiles and ingredients compared to coastal areas, giving you multiple culinary traditions within the same country. Fresh fruit availability and prices will spoil you permanently for grocery store produce in Western countries. Pineapples so sweet they taste like candy cost about 50 cents. Mangoes that drip juice down your arms are available year-round for pocket change. Coconuts are open with machetes right in front of you, providing fresh coconut water that's better than any sports drink ever invented. Avocados are larger, creamier, and cheaper than anything you've experienced in overpriced health food stores. Ghanaian meals are social events, not rushed fuel stops. Lunch isn't eaten alone at your desk while checking emails. It's shared with friends, family, or co-workers while discussing the day's events, sharing gossip, and strengthening relationships. Dinner often involves extended family gatherings where multiple generations eat together, tell stories, and maintain connections that keep communities strong. The rising cafe culture in Accra caters to young professionals, students, and expats looking for Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and international coffee styles. Places like Vienna City, Republic Bar and Grill, and Coffee and Cream offer everything from espresso drinks to smoothie bowls, while maintaining Ghanaian hospitality and pricing. A cappuccino costs about $2, and these cafes often feature local art, live music, and events that blend international cafe culture with Ghanaian social traditions. Palm wine, the traditional alcoholic beverage tapped fresh from palm trees, offers a unique drinking experience that's both cultural education and pleasant buzz. Fresh palm wine is sweet and mildly alcoholic, while aged palm wine becomes more potent and develops complex flavors. Club beer, Star beer, and other local brews provide affordable options for social drinking without the inflated prices you pay for imported alcohol. Night markets transform eating from necessity into entertainment. Vendors set up elaborate spreads featuring everything from grilled meat to fresh fruit to sweets and snacks. These markets become social gathering places where people eat, drink, socialize, and enjoy evening breezes while sampling foods that cost pennies and taste like heaven. The beauty of Ghanaian food culture extends beyond individual dishes to encompass an entire approach to eating that prioritizes flavor, community, affordability, and satisfaction. You'll find yourself eating better, spending less, and enjoying food more than you ever thought possible. The combination of incredible ingredients, skilled preparation, social eating culture, and prices that make healthy eating accessible rather than elitist creates a food scene that is both sustainable and satisfying. Ghana's social scene offers something that's increasingly rare in Western dating cultures: genuine warmth, family-oriented values, and relationships based on mutual respect rather than hookup culture superficiality. Whether you're looking for serious relationships, casual dating, or simply wanting to understand local social dynamics, Ghana provides an environment where human connections still matter more than dating app algorithms and social media posturing. Ghanaian women are confident, educated, and family-oriented in ways that create relationship dynamics very different from what many Western men experience. These aren't women looking for foreign boyfriends to rescue them from poverty or provide visa opportunities. Ghana's growing economy and educational system produce independent women who date by choice, not necessity. The stereotype of desperate African women seeking Western men doesn't apply here. Ghanaian women have options, standards, and expectations that require genuine connection rather than just foreign passport privileges. Beauty standards in Ghana celebrate curves, natural hair, and confidence over the impossible thinness and artificial enhancement that dominates Western beauty culture. Ghanaian women embrace their natural features while also enjoying fashion, makeup, and style that emphasizes personality and creativity rather than conformity to narrow beauty ideals. The result is a dating scene where people focus on character, compatibility, and genuine attraction, rather than shallow physical criteria. Dating culture operates within strong family and community frameworks that can surprise people accustomed to individualistic relationship approaches. Meeting someone as family isn't a big milestone reserved for serious relationships. It is a natural part of getting to know someone, because Ghanaian social life revolves around extended family connections. This means relationships develop within community contexts where behavior is observed, discussed, and influenced by multiple generations and social circles. Marriage and long-term commitment are taken seriously in Ghana, with cultural expectations that emphasize stability, mutual support, and shared responsibility for extended family welfare. This creates dating environments where people evaluate potential partners based on character, reliability, and long-term compatibility rather than immediate chemistry or superficial attraction. Casual dating exists, but it operates within cultural frameworks that value respect and clear communication about intentions and expectations. The nightlife scene in Accra offers everything from rooftop bars, with spectacular city views, to traditional bars where locals gather to drink, dance, and socialize. Places like Sky Bar 25, Carbon Nightclub, and Plot 7 provide upscale environments with international music, craft cocktails, and crowds that blend expats with affluent Ghanaians. These venues offer opportunities to meet educated, professional locals and fellow expats in comfortable settings that facilitate natural conversation and connection. Traditional bars and drinking spots provide more authentic Ghanaian social experiences, where palm wine, local beer, and grilled meat create environments for relaxed socializing. These venues operate as community gathering places where regulars know each other. Newcomers are welcomed, and conversations flow easily because alcohol serves as social lubricant rather than escape mechanism. Language plays a crucial role in dating and social interactions. While English provides basic communication, learning Twi phrases demonstrates respect for local culture and creates immediate connection with potential romantic interests. Simple greetings, compliments, and expressions of interest in Twi show effort and cultural sensitivity that Ghanaians appreciate. And remember, religious and cultural values influence dating expectations in ways that emphasize respect, commitment, and family integration. Public displays of affection are limited compared to Western standards, with hand-holding and brief kisses being acceptable while more intimate displays are reserved for private settings. This creates dating environments that focus on conversation, shared activities, and emotional connection rather than physical attraction and sexual chemistry. Social activities revolve around group gatherings, family events, and community celebrations rather than couple-focused dating scenarios. Church events, family parties, festivals, and community gatherings provide natural opportunities to meet people in relaxed, socially supported environments where relationships can develop gradually and authentically. The expat dating scene includes professionals, volunteers, entrepreneurs, and retirees from various countries who've made Ghana their temporary or permanent home. This community provides opportunities for cross-cultural relationships and friendships with people who share the adventure of living abroad while maintaining diverse backgrounds and perspectives. Economic factors influence relationship dynamics in ways that require cultural sensitivity and clear communication. While Ghana's economy is growing and producing middle-class prosperity, income disparities between locals and expats can create complications in relationships where money becomes a source of tension or misunderstanding. Successful relationships require honest conversations about financial expectations, family obligations, and long-term goals. Traditional marriage customs include elaborate ceremonies, bride price negotiations, and extended family involvement that can seem overwhelming to people from cultures where marriage is primarily a couple-focused decision. Understanding these traditions and showing respect for their importance creates foundation for relationships that integrate successfully with Ghanaian family and community structures. Modern dating apps and social media provide additional ways to meet people, but they operate within cultural contexts that still emphasize family approval, community acceptance, and long-term compatibility over casual encounters and superficial connections. Online dating in Ghana tends to focus on serious relationship seeking rather than hookup culture that dominates Western dating apps. The beauty of Ghana as social and dating culture lies in its emphasis on authentic human connection within supportive community frameworks. Whether you're seeking romance, friendship, or simply wanting to understand local social dynamics, Ghana provides environments where relationships develop naturally, respectfully, and sustainably. The combination of warm, confident people, family-oriented values, and social structures that support long-term commitment creates opportunities for meaningful connections that extend far beyond superficial attraction or temporary companionship. Ghana transforms celebration into an art form, with festivals and traditions that showcase the country's rich cultural heritage, while creating experiences that leave you planning your entire year around festival calendars. These aren't tourist-focused events created for foreign consumption. They are authentic cultural celebrations where communities come together to honor history, celebrate harvests, remember ancestors, and maintain traditions that connect present generations with their cultural roots. Homowo Festival, celebrated by the Ga people of Greater Accra, tells the story of triumph over famine through one of the most colorful and meaningful festivals in West Africa. Homowo means hooting at hunger, commemorating a time when the Ga people overcame severe famine through unity and perseverance. The festival features elaborate processions, traditional drumming, dancing, and the sprinkling of kpekbol, a traditional food made from corn, to bless the land and ensure future abundance. Witnessing Homowo connects you to centuries of Ghanaian history while participating in celebrations that emphasize community resilience and cultural continuity. Cheowood Street Art Festival has become Accra's most internationally recognized cultural event, transforming the historic Jamestown area into an open-air gallery featuring local and international artists, musicians, and performers. The festival, usually held in August, celebrates creativity, urban culture, and artistic expression while highlighting Ghana's position as a hub for contemporary African art and culture. Street art covers buildings, live music fills the air, and performance art creates immersive experiences that blend traditional Ghanaian culture with modern artistic expression. Cheowood demonstrates Ghana's ability to honor its history while embracing innovation and creativity. A day festival, celebrated by the Ashani people, honors ancestral spirits and maintains connections between the living and the dead. These ceremonies, held every 6 weeks, feature elaborate rituals, traditional music, and community gatherings that reinforce cultural values and social bonds. The golden stool, symbol of Ashani unity and spiritual power, plays a central role in these celebrations, connecting contemporary Ghanaians with their royal heritage and cultural identity. Panifest Pan-African Historical Theatre Festival occurs biennially and celebrates African diaspora connections through music, dance, drama, and cultural exchange. The festival brings together people of African descent from around the world to celebrate shared heritage, examine historical connections, and build bridges between continental Africans and diaspora communities. Panifest transforms Cape Coast and Elmina into stages for performances that honor African culture, while confronting painful histories of slavery and colonialism. Yam festivals across northern Ghana celebrate harvest seasons with elaborate ceremonies that give thanks for agricultural abundance while strengthening community bonds. These festivals feature traditional music, dancing, and feasting that showcased regional cultures often overlooked by visitors focused on coastal attractions. Northern Ghana SEM festivals provide opportunities to experience authentic rural culture, while participating in celebrations that connect communities to agricultural cycles and environmental harmony. Kundum Festival in the Western region celebrates fishing seasons and ocean abundance with ceremonies that honor both traditional gods and ancestral spirits. Fishing communities come together for processions, libations, and celebrations that recognize their dependence on ocean resources, while maintaining spiritual connections to water deities and ancestral guidance. These festivals showcase Ghana's coastal culture, while demonstrating how traditional beliefs adapt to contemporary life. Music and dance permeate every aspect of Ghanaian celebrations, with traditional drumming, singing, and dancing serving as both entertainment and spiritual expression. Highlife music, invented in Ghana during the early 20th century, blends traditional African rhythms with Western instruments to create distinctly Ghanaian sounds that influence contemporary Afrobeat and African popular music. Attending live highlife performances connects you to musical traditions that shape modern African music while experiencing the joy and sophistication of Ghanaian musical culture. Religious festivals blend Christian, Islamic, and traditional celebrations in ways that demonstrate Ghana's religious tolerance and cultural integration. Christmas celebrations feature traditional foods, family gatherings, and community events that blend Western Christian traditions with Ghanaian cultural practices. Islamic festivals like Eid bring communities together for prayers, feasting, and celebrations that emphasize charity, family bonds, and spiritual reflection. Traditional religious ceremonies honor ancestral spirits, natural forces, and cultural deities through elaborate rituals that maintain connections to pre-colonial spiritual traditions. Durbar festivals feature spectacular displays of traditional authority, with chiefs and their retinues appearing in elaborate regalia while riding horses, displaying traditional weapons, and demonstrating the pomp and ceremony of traditional Ghanaian kingdoms. These festivals showcase the continued relevance of traditional leadership while providing opportunities to witness cultural displays that connect contemporary Ghana to its royal and political heritage. Wedding celebrations in Ghana combine traditional ceremonies with modern celebrations, creating multi-day events that involve entire communities and festivities, featuring elaborate clothing, traditional music, and ceremonies that bind families together through marriage. Ghanaian weddings aren't just celebrations of individual couples, they're community events that strengthen social bonds while showcasing cultural traditions through food, music, dance, and ritual. Funeral celebrations, surprisingly, often resemble festivals more than somber memorial services. Ghanaian funeral traditions emphasize celebrating the life and achievements of the deceased, while maintaining connections between living family members and ancestral spirits. These celebrations feature elaborate coffins, traditional music, dancing, and gatherings that demonstrate how death is viewed as transition rather than ending in Ghanaian cultural understanding. Kente weaving traditions maintain cultural heritage through textile production that creates cloth with spiritual and social significance. Kente patterns carry meaning, with different colors, designs, and combinations communicating messages about status, beliefs, and cultural identity. Witnessing Kente production and learning about pattern meanings connects visitors to artistic traditions that maintain cultural continuity while adapting to contemporary fashion and commercial markets. Traditional drumming and dance workshops provide opportunities to learn cultural expressions that serve as both artistic and spiritual practices. Ghanaian drumming isn't just music, it's communication, storytelling, and spiritual practice that connects participants to cultural heritage while developing skills and appreciation for African musical traditions. Learning traditional dances provides physical, cultural, and social experiences that demonstrate how movement, rhythm, and community interaction combine to create cultural expression. The beauty of Ghanaian festivals and traditions lies in their authenticity, community focus, and cultural continuity. These aren't performances created for tourist consumption. They relay living traditions that maintain cultural identity while adapting to contemporary life. Participating in Ghanaian festivals provides education, entertainment, and spiritual experiences that create lasting memories while contributing to cultural preservation and community celebration. Here is where Ghana completely redefines what is possible when your money actually works for you, instead of against you. We are not talking about surviving on $500 a month by eating ramen and living in a closet. We are talking about living better than most middle-class Americans, while spending less than you blow on rent alone in any major Western city. Let us break down the real numbers that are making expats question why they ever thought expensive cities were necessary for quality of life. Housing in Ghana offers options that will make you wonder why anyone pays $3,000 for a studio apartment in San Francisco. A decent one-bedroom apartment in a nice neighborhood of Accra runs between $150 to $300 per month. We're talking about places with reliable electricity, running water, internet access, and often security services. Move slightly outside the city center or consider shared housing, and you can find comfortable accommodations for under $150 monthly. For those wanting more space and luxury, $400 to $600 monthly gets you apartments that would cost $2,000, $3,000 in American cities. Multiple bedrooms, air conditioning, modern appliances, and sometimes pools or gym access. Some expats are living in beautiful houses with gardens, multiple bedrooms, and domestic help for less than they paid for cramped apartments back home. Food costs will revolutionize your relationship with eating and budgeting. Local meals cost $1 to $3, providing fresh, healthy, filling options that satisfy both hunger and taste preferences. Cooking at home using local ingredients costs even less, fresh vegetables, fruits, grains, and proteins available at prices that make healthy eating affordable rather than luxury privilege. A monthly food budget of $100 to $150 covers both home cooking and regular restaurant meals, including occasional splurges at upscale establishments. Transportation costs practically disappear compared to Western standards. Trotro rides across Accra cost 50 cents to $1. Shared taxis for longer distances rarely exceed $2 to $3. Even hiring private taxis for special occasions costs $10 to $20 for trips that would cost $50 in major American cities. Monthly transportation costs for regular commuting and social activities typically run $20 to $40, leaving plenty of budget room for occasional car rentals or longer distance travel. Utilities including electricity, water, and internet typically cost $50 to $80 monthly for comfortable usage levels. While electricity costs more than some countries due to infrastructure challenges, efficient appliance usage and natural cooling during certain seasons help manage expenses. Internet speeds and reliability continue improving, with decent broadband packages available for $30 to $50 monthly. Healthcare costs demonstrate one of Ghana's most attractive features for budget-conscious expats. Basic medical consultations cost $10 to $20 at private clinics that provide quality care, without insurance complications or massive billing departments. Prescription medications cost fractions of Western prices, and dental work that costs thousands in America can be completed for hundreds in Ghana while maintaining quality standards. Entertainment and social activities operate at price points that make regular fun affordable rather than budget-breaking splurges. Clothing and personal care items cost significantly less than Western prices, especially when buying locally produced goods that often offer better quality and more interesting designs than mass-produced international brands. Tailoring services provide custom-fitted clothing at prices that make everyone look well-dressed, without designer price tags. Mobile phone service and data plans cost $10 to $20 monthly for generous usage allowances. SIM cards are easily obtained, and coverage extends throughout populated areas. International calling and data roaming rates remain reasonable for maintaining connections with friends and family abroad. The expat community in Ghana includes retirees, digital nomads, volunteers, business professionals, and adventure seekers who've discovered that lower costs don't mean lower quality of life. Sample monthly budget for comfortable living. Housing to $100, food $120, transportation $30, utilities $60, healthcare, personal care $40, entertainment social $30, miscellaneous $20. Total $500, leaving room for savings, travel, or upgrading lifestyle elements that matter most to individual preferences. Higher budget options allow for luxury experiences at prices that remain reasonable compared to Western standards. Spending $800 to $1,200 monthly provides access to upscale housing, regular dining at nice restaurants, domestic help, gym memberships, and entertainment options that create lifestyle quality rivaling expensive Western cities while maintaining significant cost savings. The psychological impact of financial stress reduction cannot be overstated. When basic living expenses don't consume entire paychecks, mental energy previously devoted to financial anxiety becomes available for creativity, relationships, personal development, and actual enjoyment of life. Many expats report improved mental health, reduced stress, and greater life satisfaction that extends beyond simple cost savings. Currency considerations remain important for budget planning. The Ghana cedi fluctuates against major currencies, potentially affecting costs for people earning foreign currency. However, most expats find that even with currency variations, Ghana remains significantly more affordable than Western alternatives, while providing lifestyle quality that compensates for any currency-related budget adjustments. Local income opportunities exist for those wanting to earn within the Ghanaian economy. Teaching, consulting, small business development, and various service industries provide ways to generate local income, while experiencing Ghana from resident rather than tourist perspectives. Some expats combine remote work with local income generation to create financial stability, while maintaining location independence. The beauty of Ghana's cost structure lies not just in low prices, but in value proposition. High-quality experiences, genuine community connections, beautiful environment, and lifestyle satisfaction, available at costs that make financial stress optional rather than inevitable. This creates opportunities for people to focus on living well, rather than simply surviving paycheck to paycheck. Getting around Ghana reveals a transportation system that's chaotic, colorful, and surprisingly efficient once you understand how it operates. Forget everything you know about scheduled public transit, orderly taxi queues, and predictable commute times. Ghana transportation runs on organized chaos that somehow gets everyone where they need to go while providing entertainment, social interaction, and cultural education along the way. Trotro minibuses form the backbone of Ghanaian public transportation, offering adventures and human interaction that double as affordable city navigation. These converted vans and small buses operate on fixed routes throughout cities and between towns, charging fares that rarely exceed $1 for trips across Accra. Trotros wait until completely full before departing, which means full includes every seat occupied plus additional passengers standing, sitting on laps, or squeezing into spaces that physics suggests shouldn't accommodate human bodies. The Trotro experience involves more than transportation. It's social education, entertainment, and cultural immersion rolled into affordable mobility. Passengers engage in conversations, debates, and friendly arguments about politics, religion, family drama, and current events. Vendors board at stops to sell everything from water and snacks to phone chargers and newspapers. Religious services sometimes break out spontaneously, complete with prayers, singing, and impromptu sermons. The mate conductor collects fares, announces destinations, and maintains order with combination of humor, authority, and street wisdom that keeps everything running smoothly despite apparent chaos. Accra traffic operates according to laws of physics and human nature that differ significantly from Western traffic patterns. Rush hour lasts roughly from dawn until dusk, with intensity varying based on weather, fuel prices, political events, and factors that remain mysterious even to locals. Traffic jams become social events where drivers exit vehicles to discuss routes. Mechanics examine engines, vendors sell refreshments, and passengers transfer between transportation modes without missing beats in ongoing conversations. Shared taxis provide middle ground options between Trotro chaos and private transportation luxury. These vehicles follow established routes like Trotros but carry fewer passengers and offer slightly more comfort for modest fare increases. Shared taxis often provide faster service for longer distances while maintaining affordability that makes car ownership unnecessary for many residents and expats. Private taxis, both traditional and ride-sharing services, offer comfort and convenience at prices that remain reasonable compared to Western standards. Uber and Bolt operate in major cities, providing familiar app-based booking with local drivers who often become tour guides, cultural interpreters, and friends during longer trips. Private taxi fares typically cost $5 to $15 for cross-city trips. That would cost multiples of those amounts in major Western cities. Motorcycle taxis Okada provide fast, affordable options for short distances and traffic-clogged areas where larger vehicles struggle. Riding Okada requires courage, trust, and acceptance that helmet sharing with strangers becomes normal practice. However, Okada transport costs pennies, provides door-to-door service, and navigates traffic with efficiency that four-wheeled vehicles cannot match. Intercity transportation includes comfortable buses, trotros, and shared taxis that connect all regions at affordable prices. State Transport Corporation (STC) buses provide air-conditioned comfort for longer journeys, while private bus companies offer various service levels from basic to luxury. A bus trip from Accra to Kumasi, about 250 kilometers, costs $3 to $8 depending on comfort level and company chosen. Walking remains viable and pleasant in many areas, especially during cooler morning and evening hours. Ghanaian cities developed around pedestrian movement, creating neighborhoods where daily necessities stay within walking distance. However, sidewalk conditions vary dramatically, and traffic patterns require attention and defensive pedestrian strategies that differ from Western walking experiences. Bicycle transportation exists, but remains limited due to traffic conditions, terrain, and cultural factors that favor other transportation modes. Some expats use bicycles for exercise and short-distance transportation, but cycling infrastructure and safety considerations make bicycles supplementary rather than primary transportation choices. For most residents, car rental and ownership provide maximum flexibility for those preferring independent transportation. Rental cars cost $25 to $50 daily, while purchasing used vehicles offers long-term transportation solutions for permanent residents. However, car ownership includes insurance, maintenance, fuel, and parking costs that add significantly to transportation budgets, while requiring navigation skills and traffic tolerance that not everyone possesses. Driving in Ghana requires adaptation to traffic patterns, road conditions, and cultural norms that differ from Western driving experiences. Traffic lights often serve as suggestions rather than commands. Roundabouts operate according to assertiveness rather than right-of-way rules, and vehicle condition standards allow creativity in mechanical problem solving that would fail Western vehicle inspections. Road conditions vary from excellent highways to pothole-filled streets that test vehicle suspension and driver patience. Rainy season creates additional challenges with flooding, muddy conditions, and reduced visibility that require seasonal driving strategy adjustments. However, major routes remain passable year-round, and infrastructure improvements continue expanding reliable road networks. Fuel costs fluctuate based on global prices and government subsidies, typically costing more than American prices, but remaining affordable within Ghanaian economic contexts. Fuel availability occasionally becomes problematic during economic or political disruptions, creating temporary transportation challenges that communities adapt to through increased sharing, alternative routes, and patience. Transportation apps and technology continue improving service reliability and payment convenience. Mobile money systems enable cashless fare payments, while GPS navigation helps with route planning despite ongoing address system limitations that require landmark-based navigation skills. The beauty of Ghanaian transportation lies in its community-oriented approach that prioritizes getting everyone where they need to go rather than individual comfort or schedule precision. Transportation becomes social interaction, cultural education, and adventure rather than isolated commute experience. Learning to navigate Ghana's transportation systems provides confidence, cultural integration, and stories that entertain friends for years. While demonstrating that mobility doesn't require expensive infrastructure or rigid scheduling to function effectively, Ghana offers natural beauty and adventure opportunities that rival destinations costing 5 times as much while providing experiences that luxury resorts can't replicate, from pristine beaches to wildlife encounters to historical sites that connect you with centuries of human drama. Ghana packs more diverse attractions into a compact country than seems geographically possible. Cape Coast and Elmina Castle stand as UNESCO World Heritage sites that force visitors to confront one of humanity's darkest chapters while honoring the resilience of people who survived unimaginable suffering. These fortifications, built by Europeans for gold trading and later converted to slave trading posts, house thousands of captured Africans in dungeons before their forced journey across the Atlantic. Walking through these castles creates emotional experiences that textbooks cannot convey, feeling the weight of history in spaces where human dignity was systematically destroyed, while profits were calculated and shipped overseas. The castles also showcase architectural achievement and strategic positioning that controlled trade routes for centuries. The contrast between beautiful ocean views from castle walls and horrific conditions in underground dungeons demonstrates how humans can create beauty and horror simultaneously. These sites provide historical education, emotional processing, and cultural understanding that connects visitors to global history while honoring African heritage and diaspora connections. Kekum National Park offers one of Africa's 3 canopy walkways, providing treetop adventures through pristine rainforests that showcases Ghana's biodiversity and conservation efforts. The suspension bridges, suspended 27 meters above the forest floor, create adrenaline-pumping experiences while offering perspectives on tropical ecosystems that ground-level hiking cannot provide. The walkway spans 333 meters through forest canopy, connecting 7 tree platforms that serve as observation points for wildlife viewing and nature appreciation. The park features over 300 bird species, including 8 species of global conservation concern, making it premier birdwatching destination for both amateur and professional ornithologists. Forest elephants, various monkey species, antelope, and other wildlife inhabit the park. Those sightings require patience, luck, and sometimes guided expeditions that increase wildlife encounter probabilities. Mole National Park, Ghana's largest wildlife reserve, provides authentic African safari experiences without East African price tags or tourist crowds. Elephants, antelope, warthogs, baboons, and various bird species roam freely across savanna landscapes that showcase Ghana's northern regional ecosystems. Walking safaris, guided by experienced rangers, offer intimate wildlife encounters impossible from vehicle-based safaris, while providing education about animal behavior, ecosystem relationships, and conservation challenges. The park's accommodation options range from budget camping to comfortable lodges that provide bases for multiple-day wildlife exploration. Evening game drives and early morning walking safaris maximize wildlife viewing opportunities while avoiding midday heat that reduces animal activity. Mole demonstrates that outstanding safari experiences do require expensive destination travel, when Ghana provides accessible wildlife viewing within reasonable budgets. Lake Volta, one of the world's largest artificial lakes, creates freshwater recreation opportunities including fishing, boating, and lakeside retreats that provide alternatives to coastal activities. The lake formed by Akasambo Dam generates much of Ghana's electricity, while creating recreational areas that showcase engineering achievement alongside natural beauty. Fishing expeditions, boat tours, and lakeside accommodation offer peaceful alternatives to busy coastal areas, while providing opportunities to experience rural Ghanaian lake communities. Ghana's beaches offer 350 miles of Atlantic coastline, featuring everything from bustling urban beaches to pristine stretches, where footprints disappear with incoming tides. Labadi Beach in Accra provides lively atmosphere with music, food vendors, and social activities that create party-like environments perfect for meeting people and experiencing Ghanaian beach culture. Bojo Beach offers family-friendly environments with cleaner sand and organized facilities for comfortable day trips. Cockerbite Beach attracts younger crowds and backpacker communities with affordable accommodation, live music venues, and relaxed atmosphere that supports extended stays. The beach features local bars, restaurants, and cultural centers that provide opportunities to experience authentic coastal culture while enjoying ocean activities and sunset viewing. Bijwa Beach in the western region provides surfing opportunities and resort-style accommodation for those seeking more upscale beach experiences. The area features several beach resorts, surf schools, and restaurants that cater to international visitors while maintaining Ghanaian hospitality and cultural authenticity. Adafoa, where the Volta River meets the Atlantic Ocean, creates unique ecosystems supporting diverse wildlife including sea turtles that nest on beaches seasonally. The area offers fishing, birdwatching, and boat trips through mangrove systems that showcase coastal ecology, while providing opportunities for ecotourism activities that support local communities. Wulai Falls, Ghana's highest waterfall, provides hiking opportunities through tropical forests leading to spectacular water features that create natural swimming pools and scenic photography opportunities. The falls require moderate hiking through forest paths that showcase tropical plant life, bird species, and landscape diversity that demonstrates Ghana's ecological variety within relatively small geographic area. Shy Hills Game Reserve, located close to Accra, offers wildlife viewing and hiking opportunities for day trips that don't require extensive travel planning. The reserve features antelope, ostrich, and various bird species while providing hiking trails that showcase savanna ecosystems and rock formations within easy reach of urban areas. Traditional craft centers throughout Ghana demonstrate artistic heritage through kente weaving, pottery, wood carving, and other crafts that maintain cultural traditions while providing economic opportunities for local artisans. Visiting craft centers offers opportunities to observe traditional techniques, purchase authentic souvenirs, and interact with craftspeople who maintain cultural knowledge and artistic skills passed down through generations. Mountain regions, including the Aquapim Ridge, provide cooler temperatures, scenic landscapes, and hiking opportunities that offer relief from coastal heat while showcasing Ghana's topographical diversity. Hill stations and mountain communities feature different cultural groups, agricultural practices, and lifestyle patterns that demonstrate regional diversity within Ghana's compact geography. The beauty of Ghana's attractions lies in their authenticity, accessibility, and cultural integration. These aren't artificial tourist destinations created for foreign consumption. They're real places where history, culture, nature, and contemporary life intersect to create experiences that educate, entertain, and inspire while remaining affordable and accessible to travelers with various budgets and interests. Ghana stands out in Africa as a destination where personal safety concerns that worry travelers about other regions simply don't apply to the same degree. This isn't about ignoring precautions or pretending risks don't exist. It is about recognizing that Ghana has created an environment where visitors can focus on experiences rather than constantly worry about security, health crises, or infrastructure failures that plague other destinations. Personal safety in Ghana benefits from cultural values that emphasize community responsibility, respect for visitors, and social systems that discourage crime through community pressure rather than relying solely on formal law enforcement. Violent crime exists, but remains relatively uncommon, especially crimes targeting foreigners or visitors. Petty theft and pickpocketing occur in busy areas, but using basic precautions, not flashing expensive items, being aware of surroundings, avoiding isolated areas at night, provides adequate protection for most situations. The Ghanaian concept of hospitality includes responsibility for guest safety that extends beyond formal tourism industry obligations. Local communities often take personal interest in ensuring visitors have positive experiences, which includes warning about potential problems, providing assistance when needed, and intervening when situations develop that could create safety concerns for foreigners. Police and security services function adequately for normal travel safety needs, though bureaucracy and resource limitations mean that complex legal problems or serious crimes require patience and often assistance from embassy or consular services. However, most visitor interactions with law enforcement involve routine checks, minor traffic issues, or requests for assistance that get resolved through cooperation and understanding rather than confrontation or corruption demands. Healthcare infrastructure provides adequate services for routine medical needs, while requiring preparation and insurance for serious medical emergencies. Private hospitals and clinics in major cities offer quality care for common ailments, minor injuries, and routine health maintenance at affordable prices that make healthcare accessible without insurance complications that plague American healthcare systems. Malaria prevention remains essential throughout Ghana, requiring anti-malarial medication, mosquito repellent, and protective clothing during peak mosquito hours. However, malaria risk shouldn't prevent travel. Millions of people live healthy lives in malaria-endemic areas through appropriate precautions and prompt treatment when symptoms develop. Water safety requires attention to source and treatment, with bottled water widely available and affordable for drinking purposes. Local food safety follows standard tropical travel precautions. Eating at busy establishments with high turnover, avoiding raw vegetables unless you can verify washing procedures, and choosing freshly cooked meals over items that have been sitting at room temperature. Tropical disease risks exist but remain manageable through vaccination, prevention, and prompt medical attention when symptoms develop. Yellow fever vaccination is required for entry and provides protection against serious disease. Typhoid, hepatitis, and other tropical disease vaccinations provide additional protection for travelers who will spend extended time in rural areas or engage in activities that increase exposure risks. Road safety presents the most significant daily risk for most visitors with traffic conditions, vehicle maintenance standards, and driving practices that differ from Western safety standards. Using seat belts, choosing reputable transportation companies, avoiding travel during adverse weather conditions, and exercising caution around traffic provide adequate protection, while acknowledging that road travel involves more risk than similar activities in countries with stricter vehicle and infrastructure standards. Natural disaster risks remain minimal compared to many tourist destinations. Ghana doesn't experience hurricanes, earthquakes, volcanic activity, or extreme weather events that create sudden, severe threats to personal safety. Seasonal flooding during heavy rains creates temporary transportation and infrastructure challenges, but rarely threatens personal safety for people using reasonable caution. Educational infrastructure provides opportunities for visitors interested in learning or teaching, with English language instruction creating opportunities for native speakers to contribute skills while experiencing Ghanaian educational culture. However, volunteer and educational opportunities require research and preparation to ensure legitimate organizations and meaningful contributions rather than exploitative arrangements that benefit neither volunteers nor communities. Gender-specific safety considerations affect women travelers differently than men, with cultural norms around dress, behavior, and social interaction requiring awareness and adaptation. However, Ghana's cultural respect for women and community-oriented safety systems mean that women, travelers who understand local customs and exercise appropriate caution, can travel safely and comfortably throughout the country. Embassy and consular services provide assistance for serious problems, document replacement, and emergency situations that exceed local resources or require international coordination. However, embassy services operate within limitations that require personal responsibility for routine safety, health, and legal compliance rather than expecting diplomatic intervention for problems that result from poor planning or judgment. Insurance considerations include health coverage for tropical diseases and medical evacuation, travel insurance for trip interruption or loss, and consideration of activities that might not be covered under standard policies. However, insurance costs for Ghana travel remain reasonable compared to coverage for destinations with higher risk profiles or more expensive healthcare systems. The overall safety picture in Ghana demonstrates that reasonable precautions, cultural awareness, and appropriate preparation create environments where travelers can focus on experiences rather than survival. Ghana provides opportunities for adventure, cultural immersion, and personal growth within safety parameters that make travel stress about logistics rather than personal security. This safety foundation enables the lifestyle and cost advantages that make Ghana attractive, while providing confidence that problems can be managed rather than feared. Getting into Ghana and establishing legal residence requires navigation of bureaucratic processes that can seem complex initially but become manageable once you understand the systems and requirements. The key is approaching visa and residency issues with patience, proper documentation, and realistic expectations about timeline and complexity. Tourist visas for most nationalities require advance application through Ghanaian embassies or online systems, with requirements including valid passport, application forms, photos, proof of financial support, and sometimes yellow fever vaccination certificates. Tourist visas typically allow 30 to 60-day stays, with possible extensions available through immigration offices within Ghana. Visa fees vary by nationality but generally range from $50 to $150 for single-entry tourist visas. The online visa application system has improved efficiency and reduced processing times compared to embassy-only applications, though technical problems occasionally create delays or complications that require patience and persistence. Having backup plans and allowing extra time for visa processing prevents travel disruption when technical or administrative delays occur. Visa extensions within Ghana require visits to immigration offices with proper documentation, fees, and sometimes explanations of extended stay purposes. Extensions are generally available for legitimate tourism, business, or personal reasons, though approval isn't automatic and may require demonstration of financial support and clear departure plans. Work permits require job offers from Ghanaian employers and involve complex application processes, including documentation of qualifications, background checks, and demonstration that positions cannot be filled by qualified Ghanaian citizens. Work permits are tied to specific employers and positions, limiting flexibility for job changes or entrepreneurial activities without additional bureaucratic processes. Business visas and investment permits provide options for entrepreneurs and investors who want to establish businesses or make significant financial investments in Ghana. These processes require substantial documentation, financial proof, and often legal assistance to navigate requirements successfully. However, Ghana actively encourages foreign investment and provides incentives for businesses that create jobs and contribute to economic development. Residence permits offer long-term legal status for people who want to establish permanent or semi-permanent presence in Ghana. Different categories of residence permits exist for retirees, investors, professionals, and family members of Ghanaian citizens. Requirements vary by category, but generally include financial proof, background checks, health certificates, and demonstration of ties to Ghana. Dual citizenship possibilities exist for people of Ghanaian ancestry through the Right of Abode program, which provides pathway to Ghanaian citizenship for diaspora members who can demonstrate ancestral connections. This program specifically targets African Americans and other diaspora populations seeking to establish formal connections with Ghana. SIM cards and mobile phone service require passport identification for registration, but are easily obtained from multiple providers with competitive pricing and coverage. MTN, Vodafone, and Airtel to Go provide nationwide coverage with affordable data plans and international calling options that keep communication costs reasonable. Banking services for non-residents require passport identification and sometimes proof of address or employment, but major banks offer services to foreigners including account opening, international transfers, and mobile banking options. Having local bank accounts facilitates bill payment, salary receipt, and financial transactions that become complicated using only foreign accounts and cash. Internet speed and reliability continue improving throughout Ghana, with fiber optic networks expanding and mobile data coverage reaching most populated areas. Download speeds of 10 to 50 Mbps are common in urban areas, sufficient for video calling, streaming, and remote work activities. Internet costs remain affordable, with unlimited plans available for $30 to $60 monthly depending on speed and provider. Digital nomad considerations include reliable internet, co-working spaces, and legal status for remote work. While Ghana doesn't have specific digital nomad visa categories, tourist visas with extensions often provide sufficient legal status for people working remotely for foreign employers. However, earning income within Ghana may require work permits or business registration depending on activities and income sources. Co-working spaces in Accra and other major cities provide professional environments, reliable internet, and networking opportunities for remote workers and entrepreneurs. These spaces often organize events, provide business services, and create communities that support location-independent professionals. Currency and financial considerations include exchange rates, international transfer options, and local payment systems. The Ghanaian cedi fluctuates against major currencies, affecting costs for people earning foreign income. Mobile money systems like MTN Mobile Money provide convenient payment options for local transactions without requiring constant cash handling. Import regulations affect personal belongings, electronics, and vehicles, with duties and restrictions that require research and planning for people bringing significant possessions to Ghana. However, personal effects for temporary residents generally receive favorable treatment compared to commercial imports. Tax obligations for residents and non-residents vary based on income sources, residency status, and bilateral tax agreements between Ghana and other countries. Professional tax advice becomes important for people establishing residence or earning income in Ghana to ensure compliance and optimize tax efficiency. The key to successful visa and residency processes involves understanding requirements, preparing documentation thoroughly, budgeting for fees and potential delays, and maintaining flexibility when bureaucratic processes don't proceed according to expected timelines. Ghana wants foreign visitors and residents who contribute positively to the country, but bureaucratic systems require patience and proper preparation to navigate successfully. After examining Ghana from every angle, the incredible cost of living, the warm culture, the amazing food, the beautiful landscapes, the safety, and the genuine friendliness of the people, it becomes clear why this West African nation is quietly becoming one of the world's best kept secrets for affordable overseas living. Ghana offers something that is increasingly rare in today's world: the opportunity to live well, without financial stress. While people in expensive Western cities work multiple jobs just to afford basic apartments and struggle to save money despite high incomes, Ghana provides a lifestyle where $500 monthly covers not just survival, but actual comfort, community, and adventure. This isn't about moving to a cheap place and suffering through poor conditions. It is about discovering that many expensive elements of Western lifestyle aren't necessary for happiness, health, and fulfillment. The country's combination of English-speaking environment, stable democracy, growing economy, and strategic location creates unique advantages for expats seeking alternatives to overpriced Western cities. Ghana provides African cultural experience without the language barriers, political instability, or infrastructure challenges that make other destinations more difficult for Western residents. The food scene alone justifies considering Ghana as a lifestyle destination. When delicious, healthy, fresh meals cost $1 to $3 and provide more satisfaction than expensive restaurant meals in major cities, eating becomes pleasure rather than financial stress. The social aspects of Ghanaian food culture, shared meals, community cooking, market interactions, restore human connections that fast-paced Western lifestyle often destroys. Social and dating opportunities in Ghana operate within cultural frameworks that emphasize genuine connect, family integration, and long-term compatibility rather than superficial attraction and casual encounters. For people seeking meaningful relationships and authentic community belonging, Ghana provides social environments that support deep connections while maintaining cultural richness and diversity. The natural beauty, from pristine beaches to wildlife reserves to historical sites, provides weekend adventures and exploration opportunities that would cost thousands in tourist destinations, while remaining accessible and affordable for Ghana residents. Living in Ghana means having constant access to experiences that other people save money for years to afford during brief vacations. Safety and healthcare considerations, while requiring attention and preparation, don't present insurmountable obstacles for people using reasonable precautions and maintaining appropriate health coverage. Ghana's reputation as one of Africa's safest countries isn't marketing hype. It reflects cultural values and social systems that prioritize community welfare and visitor security. The visa and residency processes, though bureaucratic, provide legitimate pathways for people seeking temporary or permanent residence in Ghana. The country actively welcomes foreign residents who contribute positively to economic and social development while respecting local culture and customs. Perhaps most importantly, Ghana offers hope for people feeling trapped by expensive Western lifestyle expectations that consume entire incomes while providing diminishing satisfaction and increasing stress. Ghana demonstrates that quality of life depends more on community connections, natural beauty, cultural richness, and financial security than on expensive possessions, status symbols, or geographic location prestige. The growing expat community in Ghana includes people from various backgrounds who've made successful transitions from expensive Western cities to affordable, satisfying Ghanaian lifestyle. Their experiences demonstrate that this isn't just theoretical possibility, but practical reality for people willing to adapt cultural expectations while maintaining personal values and goals. Ghana challenges assumptions about what's necessary for comfortable, fulfilling life while providing opportunities for adventure, growth, and community that expensive cities often fail to deliver despite their high costs. Living well doesn't require expensive infrastructure, costly entertainment, or premium services when genuine culture, natural beauty, and human warmth create satisfaction that money can't buy. The question isn't whether Ghana offers good value for budget-conscious travelers. The evidence clearly demonstrates exceptional value proposition for cost-conscious residents. The real question is whether you're ready to challenge assumptions about expensive lifestyle requirements while embracing opportunities for authentic cultural experience, financial freedom, and personal growth that Ghana provides. For people feeling overwhelmed by Western lifestyle costs, frustrated by superficial social connections, or seeking adventure without financial sacrifice, Ghana offers proven alternative that thousands of expats have already discovered and embraced. The country provides foundation for lifestyle transformation that goes beyond simple cost savings to encompass cultural enrichment, community belonging, and personal satisfaction that make financial benefits secondary to overall life improvement. So here's the ultimate question. Would you trade your expensive, stressful Western lifestyle for a place where $500 monthly provides comfort, community, adventure, and genuine cultural experience? Would you choose financial freedom, authentic relationships, incredible food, beautiful environment, and personal growth over familiar, but increasingly expensive and unsatisfying Western city living? Ghana is waiting with open arms, friendly faces, and opportunities that could transform not just your budget, but your entire approach to what makes life worth living. The only question remaining is whether you're brave enough to find out what you've been missing.